No stupid question. Ask me anything about Africa.
Okay.
Is it true that Ethiopia has the most accurate Christian Bible?
Ethiopia has the oldest Christian Bible. So if you want to portray the fact that it has been in existence and used over the years as accuracy, then the answer to your question will be yes, right? But I believe that when it comes to religion, I don't like giving definite answers on religion because religion is really about faith and what you believe to be the truth, right? So if you are looking at it from a historical point of view, yes. But if you're looking at it from religious point of view, it depends on what you believe.
How did Ebola affect travel restrictions in Africa? And how is Africa still being affected today by the Ebola outbreak?
Ebola outbreak was in 2015. That was 10 years ago. So I don't think that Ebola is affecting people today. The only thing I would say is it did affect restrictions, not just in the countries where Ebola was affecting the people, but countries around those countries, right? I'm from Ghana. There was no Ebola outbreak in Ghana. But there was Ebola outbreak in Liberia, which is in West Africa. But because most people perception of Africa is the whole place is one, people from everywhere in Africa were treated the same way people from Liberia were treated when there was Ebola outbreak, right? And interestingly, anytime I hear people still talking about Ebola, I think about the fact that almost every region in the world have had a pandemic break out of that place.
Yeah, we had an Ebola case in Texas.
Yeah. What I was trying to say is that nobody talks about the fact that COVID started in China, the black plague started in Europe, but still people always want to bring up Africa. So yeah.
Okay, going off what you said, that a lot of people look at Africa as just like one place versus all the countries in it. Um, what? Wait, hold on. Let me lock in. Let me just like.
You can ask your question and what she
Wait.
thinks
Oh,
about hers.
I have my question. Okay,
I
ready?
mean we can go back and forth.
Ready?
Yeah.
Does Africa have their own version of like the of NATO or
NATO is a security organization.
like the EU?
Yes. So Africa has African Union, where almost every country in Africa is a member of African Union. I say almost every country because there are some two countries in Africa who have beef with each other,
Which ones?
Morocco and Western Sahara. So anytime Western Sahara is in part of the African Union, Morocco leaves the African Union. When Morocco joins African Union, Western Sahara leaves. It is a bit complicated. It's like, how do I put it? What can I compare it to in
They're
the
like
world?
Kendrick and Drake guys.
Not like Ukraine and Russia, right? Ukraine and Russia has an ongoing beef that has been going on for ages. The same thing with Western Sahara and
Like
Morocco,
like Ireland and the UK.
something like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, Africa has an African Union. It is not as strong as the European Union, mainly because European Union has more money than African Union. Everything in the world boils down to who has more money and who has more control.
Yeah. Okay. Here you go, Kyle.
Thank you. So, how do you think that
It doesn't have to be political. She just likes to be political. It can be
uh
anything.
low key, what do you think how do you think that Ethiopian culture has diversified the United States and like y'all's music and stuff? Because I low key be hearing y'all's music everywhere now.
Yeah. From okay, your question is about Ethiopia, but Ethiopian culture. Actually, I'll answer that and I'll come back to the music. Ethiopian culture has affected every single country in Africa, right? You
Mm.
know, every country in Africa, almost every country in Africa has red, yellow, and green in their flag. That is because the colors of the Ethiopian flag is red, yellow, and green. Ethiopia is the only country in Africa that wasn't colonized by Europeans. So because of they kept their history and culture, the rest of Africa looks at Ethiopia as our big brother of a sort, right? But these days, because they have some political issues, they are no longer held to that level of respect. But the African Union I mentioned earlier, their headquarters is still in Addis Ababa, which is the capital of Ethiopia. But
Oh.
how African culture, I think we are talking about Afrobeats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Afrobeat. I think what Afrobeat have done for American culture is Afrobeat have made Americans more fun. And I'll explain. So when you listen to country music, it sounds sad. Everybody
Yeah.
is always sad about something. When you listen to hip hop music, it's very hardcore. Everybody is always like trying to be mature about everything. Afrobeat is just pure, let's have fun vibe. Nothing about what is going wrong in our lives or right in our lives. It's just we are here to party. And I
Yeah.
think that the concept of just we are here to party, as Afrobeat takes off in America, I've noticed that that vibe is picking up. Anytime I go to like a club when they're playing Afrobeat, people just relax and just dance over. Yeah, I
Okay.
think that is one way Afrobeat have affected American culture. It's made American more similar to our vibe.
Okay. So you
Yeah.
think so do you think that like Afrobeat is like a good representation of like how fun your culture can be?
Yes, definitely. When you look at any Afrobeat video, it's always bright colors, people dancing. You know this song, Last Last, Everybody Get Break, With Your Breakfast. It's a song by Burna Boy. It's a heartbreak song. But the vibe and the beat of the song is so upbeat that you don't realize that's a heartbreak song. So I think that is just we have a culture where people let things go easily. People always, how do you call it? There's the saying we have, which is very popular in West Africa, called "Give it to God." What that means is that whatever you're going through, just give it to God. God will deal with it for you, and then you just relax and have a good time.
Man, that's awesome, man. Y'all
Yeah,
got such a rich culture, bro.
yeah,
That's so damn
yeah.
cool. Man, low key, I've always wanted to visit it, bro.
You should, you should. I think even this school has packages and programs where they do study abroad to Africa. Usually, it's good to partake in those type of programs because it gives you a system where you are going with somebody who is mandated to protect you while you are there. So when you go there as part of a study abroad for the first time, when you go back on your own, usually is more easier for you because you have a familiarity with the place. Or if you have friends from Africa like me and you want to visit the place, always you can go with a friend or something because it's more fun if you know people, just like
Okay.
everywhere else in the world.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, yeah,
Man, that's cool, man.
yeah.
Is that all the questions that I gotta ask, or
You
do
can
you have
ask anything if you have anything else in your mind. It doesn't have to be anything. It can be, you know,
low key? Where do you think is like the best place to visit?
I'm from Ghana. I'm going to say Ghana because you're in the month of December. And in December, we have something in Ghana called Dirty December. What
Really?
it's like summer in the US. So
Seriously?
Dirty December is like around the time of the year where, because the weather is beautiful, it's summertime in Ghana. People have a lot of festivals. There's a lot of like nightlife. There is a lot of like events happening in Ghana. So in every December, about 1 million people travel from everywhere in the world to Ghana just to have a good time. And as part of having a good time, maybe some people find their wives, some people find their business partners. So yeah. So I would say in December, Ghana, Nigeria is also a good time to go in December. South
Seriously?
Africa is like around South Africa, yes, it's also good weather around this time. Ethiopia, if you are interested in like history and culture, Ethiopia is also a good place to go. Me personally, I liked when I was in Sierra Leone. A lot of
Really?
people don't like going to Sierra Leone because it's like one of the poorest places in the world. But I like the landscape over there. It's like a lot of like tall mountains and the sea is very pretty over there. So
Oh man,
yeah.
that's really cool, bro.
Yeah.
It's really nice to hear about it.
Yeah. Thank you for your questions. I love your questions.
No problem,
Yeah, I'll talk
man.
to you later. All
All right,
right.
man. I'll see you around.
All right.